Aircraft carriers are the most powerful ships at sea. Floating air bases that can travel anywhere on the planet. But only a few countries in the world have them. Building and operating one takes massive budgets, trained pilots, and complex logistics. And while many navies operate ships with flight decks, true aircraft carriers are far more rare. Today we're going to take a look at every nation that operates an aircraft carrier and what role these ships play in their naval power. We'll start with the countries that have just one and end with the nation that operates more carriers than everyone else combined. Let's get started. At number 9 is Spain. In the blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea, near the port of Rota, lies a ship with a distinctive silhouette. Long, wide, and with a flight deck that slopes upward toward the bridge. This is the Juan Carlos I, Spain's only aircraft carrier. The flight deck looks like an open plaza at sea where helicopters and fighter jets can operate. But this is not a traditional carrier. Beneath the deck is a well dock, allowing the ship to launch amphibious landings. The Juan Carlos I is built for versatility, and it can transport marines, vehicles, and landing craft, but also can launch fighter jets like the AV-8B Harrier. In the future, it may even support the F-35B, a jet capable of vertical takeoff and landing. Spain uses the ship in NATO exercises, peacekeeping missions, and humanitarian operations, not for global power projection, but as a regional force with maritime strength. Its air group varies: Harriers, transport helicopters, and maritime patrol aircraft, enough to intervene, support, or secure whatever needed. For Spain, the Juan Carlos I is above all a symbol of flexibility. A ship that combines multiple roles and fits seamlessly into European naval cooperation. At number 8, we have Italy. Along Italy's western coast, near the port of Taranto, sits the country's largest naval vessel and the flagship of the Italian Navy, the Cavour. Its flight deck is wide, sloping upward at the front, a ski jump designed to help light fighter jets take off. Usually, Harrier jets are parked on the deck, but soon they'll be replaced by F-35Bs. Beneath the surface, there's space for helicopters, ammunition, and maintenance, everything aimed at rapid deployment from sea. Italy doesn't use the Cavour just for combat missions either. It also plays a key role in humanitarian operations, evacuations, and international exercises. It's a diplomatic tool at sea, a mobile piece of Italian presence in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, or even the Indian Ocean. Italy also operates a second aircraft carrier, the Giuseppe Garibaldi. Older, smaller, and now primarily used for helicopters and training. Together, they form a flexible combination: the Cavour for advanced air operations and the Garibaldi as added capacity when needed. The air group aboard the Cavour includes F-35Bs, NH-90 helicopters, and AW-101s, aircraft capable of strike missions, transport, or anti-submarine warfare. For Italy, it's not about global dominance, but about having real capability within NATO and a visible role in international coalitions. The Cavour is a compact, efficient answer to the demands of a modern European naval force. At number 7, we have France. In the deep waters of the eastern Atlantic, not far from the naval base in Toulon, sails a ship unlike any other in Europe. Steel gray, nuclear-powered, and humming with quiet intensity. This is the Charles de Gaulle, France's only aircraft carrier, and the only one in the world outside the US that's nuclear-powered. The flight deck is flat and angular, with 2 aircraft elevators and a set of catapults, designed to launch Rafale M fighter jets at combat speed in the open sea. It's a true CATO bar system, catapult-assisted takeoff, barrier-arrested recovery, something only a few navies can operate. The Charles de Gaulle is a core asset of the French foreign policy, It has been deployed in the Middle East, in the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean. From anti-terror operations to power projection, it allows France to act independently with or without allies. Its air group includes up to 30 aircraft, mainly Rafale fighters, alongside E-2C Hawkeye early warning planes and NH-90 helicopters. That's enough to deliver precision strikes, establish air dominance, or conduct surveillance far away from French shores. The carrier is supported by a full naval strike group of frigates, submarines, and a supply ship, all under one command. This gives France a truly autonomous naval reach. For France, the Charles de Gaulle isn't just a military platform, it's also a floating statement of national independence, industrial pride, and global presence. At number 6, we have Japan. Off the coast of Yokosuka, a sleek gray ship cuts through the water with quiet precision. Its deck stretches flat and interrupted, resembling a small aircraft carrier. This is the JS Izumo, one of 2 Japanese helicopter destroyers now being refitted for jet operations. Originally designed to carry helicopters for anti-submarine warfare, the Izumo is being transferred to support F-35B fighter jets, aircraft that can take off from short decks and land vertically. The second ship, the JS Kaga, is also undergoing the same upgrade. Officially, these ships are still called helicopter destroyers, but their role is evolving, quietly and deliberately. Japan is reintroducing fixed-wing aviation to its fleet for the first time since World War II. The flight deck of the Izumo is wide and reinforced with new heat-resistant coatings that are being added to handle jet exhaust, and the internal hangars are being adapted to house and maintain stealth aircraft. Japan sees these ships as tools for regional defense. They're not built for distant wars, but to operate near home in the East China Sea around Okinawa and along key sea lanes. Each carrier can operate a small air wing, F-35Bs for air patrol, SH-60 helicopters for sub-hunting, and support aircraft for maritime surveillance. For Japan, the Izumo class represents a careful return to carrier capabilities, not as a symbol of aggression, but as a flexible platform in a region where tensions are quietly rising. At number 5, we have India. In the Arabian Sea, just off the coast of Kochi, a new presence glides across the waves. Painted in naval gray, its island tower rising above the flight deck. This is the INS Vikrant, India's first indigenously built aircraft carrier. Commissioned in 2022, the Vikrant is a symbol of national pride. It joins the INS Vikramaditya, a Russian-built carrier already in service. Together, they give India a rare capability, a 2-carrier fleet. The Vikrant's flight deck uses a ski-jump launch system, allowing short takeoff jets like the MiG-29K to operate at sea. Its hangars can house up to 30 aircraft, a mix of fighters and helicopters for air defense, anti-submarine warfare, and maritime patrol. India's carriers are designed with the Indian Ocean in mind. This is a vast region, critical for global trade, and increasingly contested. By deploying carriers, India extends its reach from the Strait of Malacca to the Persian Gulf. The Vikrant isn't nuclear-powered, and its systems are still being fine-tuned, but its construction marks a major milestone. A carrier built entirely in India by Indian engineers for an Indian strategy. The air wing includes MiG-29Ks and helicopters like the Kamov Ka-31, with plans to introduce new fighter jets and advanced drones in the coming years. For India, aircraft carriers aren't just warships, they're tools of status, deterrence, and ambition, floating signals that the country intends to shape the waters around it. At number 4, we have Russia. In the northern port of Murmansk, surrounded by ice and steel, sits a warship that's more legend than it is reality. The Admiral Kuznetsov, Russia's only aircraft carrier. A relic of the Soviet era and currently undergoing a very long and troubled refit. The Kuznetsov is large, imposing, and distinct in design. It doesn't use catapults. Instead, it launches aircraft via a ski jump system, supporting Su-33 and MiG-29K fighters designed for carrier operations. Its deck has arrestor cables for landing, but no angled runway. A design choice that reflects its hybrid role, part carrier, part missile cruiser. Technically, the ship is called a heavy aircraft carrying cruiser because it carries both aircraft and heavy anti-ship missiles. It's a uniquely Russian concept, blending sea and air power in one hull. The Kuznetsov has seen limited deployments, but most notably to the Mediterranean during its operations in Syria. But those missions exposed its vulnerabilities: mechanical failures, thick smoke from aging engines, and the loss of aircraft due to malfunctioning arrestor gear. Since 2017, the ship has been docked for a major overhaul, delayed by accidents, budget issues, and even fires. As of now, its return to active service remains uncertain at all. Despite these setbacks, Russia sees the Kuznetsov as a symbol, not of power projection across oceans, but of prestige and naval tradition. In a fleet dominated by submarines and surface combatants, the carrier stands as a reminder of Soviet ambition and the desire to still be seen as a global maritime player. At number 3, we have China. In the waters near Qingdao, a gray silhouette moves with quiet authority. It's flanked by escort ships and trailed by surveillance drones. This is the Shandong, one of China's 3 active aircraft carriers, and the first to be fully built in China. China's rise as a carrier power has been fast and deliberate. The country's first carrier, the Liaoning, was purchased as a hull from Ukraine, then refurbished and commissioned in 2012. The Shandong followed in 2019, a near clone but with key improvements. Now, a third carrier, the Fujian, is undergoing sea trials. This one, though, is a bit different. It's bigger, it's more advanced, and it's equipped with electromagnetic catapults. Both Liaoning and Shandong use ski jump systems, limiting the weight and the range of aircraft like the J-15, China's main fighter carrier. But the Fujian introduces a catapult-assisted launch, putting China closer to American-style carrier operations. China's carriers aren't global yet. They operate mainly in the South China Sea and the Western Pacific, close to contested areas within range of land-based support. But their message is clear: China intends to project power from the sea. Each carrier can carry around 40 aircraft, including fighters, helicopters, and airborne warning platforms. For China, carriers aren't just about defense. They're about presence, influence, and strategic reach. Floating air bases that extend the Chinese flag far beyond its shores in a region where naval dominance is quickly becoming the deciding factor. At number 2 is the United Kingdom. In the cold, cold waters of the North Sea, a massive ship cuts through the mist with quiet confidence. This is HMS Queen Elizabeth, the Royal Navy's flagship and one of the most advanced aircraft carriers in the world. Alongside her sister ship, HMS Prince of Wales, she marks Britain's return to carrier strike capability. Both carriers are large and modern, with dual island superstructures, a design that separates flight control from ship command. They use ski jump ramps to launch F-35B stealth fighters, aircraft that are capable of short takeoff and vertical landing. No catapults, no arrestor wires, just high-tech jets leaping into the sky. The carriers were designed not just for British needs, but also for interoperability with allies. British and American jets can fly from their decks, and the ships often sail alongside NATO forces. Each carrier can deploy up to 36 aircraft, typically a mix of F-35Bs and Merlin helicopters for anti-submarine warfare. They are supported by a strike group that includes destroyers, frigates, submarines, and supply ships, forming the core of the UK's maritime power. HMS Queen Elizabeth has already seen combat deployments, launching missions over Iraq and Syria back in 2021. Prince of Wales, meanwhile, focuses on training, NATO duties, and Arctic readiness. For the UK, these ships are more than just weapons. They are symbols of global reach, alliance leadership, and industrial ambition. A statement that Britain still sails with power and purpose. And at number one, of course, is the United States. No country comes close. Across 2 oceans, from Norfolk to Yokosuka, the United States operates a fleet of 11 aircraft carriers, more than the rest of the world combined. Now, these aren't ordinary carriers. These are super carriers, nuclear-powered giants nearly 330 meters long. They can sail for months, even years, without refueling. And they can carry more than 5,000 sailors, aviators, and support crew on board. A true floating military city at sea. 10 of these aircraft carriers belong to the Nimitz class, but the newest, the USS Gerald R. Ford, takes things even further with its own class of aircraft carriers. Equipped with electromagnetic catapults, or EMALs, advanced radar, and fully automated weapons elevators, she launches aircraft faster, safer, and more efficiently than ever before. U.S. carriers use the CATO bar system, Catapult-Assisted Takeoff, Barrier-Arrested Recovery. This allows them to launch fully loaded FA-18s, E-2D Hawkeyes for airborne early warnings, and soon the F-35C, the naval version of the stealth fighter. Each carrier can operate up to 70 aircraft, including strike jets, electronic warfare planes, and surveillance assets. These ships also house completely stocked medical facilities, workshops, and full command centers, giving them true operational independence for extended missions. Each carrier is the heart of a carrier strike group, a coordinated force of destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and supply ships. For the United States, aircraft carriers are more than just warships. They are flying bases, instruments of policy, and unmatched symbols of global maritime dominance. From regional single-deck ships to nuclear-powered supercarriers, each one says something about how a nation sees itself at sea. Was your country on the list? Let us know in the comments, and tell us where you're watching from. And which country do you think should build an aircraft carrier next? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more maritime stories. And if you want to go one step further and support this channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority replies, and help us bring more true naval stories to the surface. Just click join on our channel page and get on board. And remember, aircraft carriers may be massive, but finding a parking spot in port, that's still a nightmare. I'll see you in the next one.